Hello. I thought I would do a quick video today about insomnia because it's an experience that's been happening here a little bit of late. And I've just noticed lots of tricky thinking that comes up about it. Um, and generally, the more thinking there is around a subject like that, the more there is this kind of weird impetus to want to fix it. So often we'll come to a conversation around anxiety, like a coaching conversation around anxiety or insomnia, and it will be about wanting to be free from it. But here we're going to talk a little bit differently and maybe go a little bit deeper than the surface. Because often in a conversation about insomnia, there'll be a lot of tips that are provided around maybe sleep hygiene, which can be really beneficial. But for me, I find that sometimes that just creates a tendency to have some kind of strategy. And then there's more and more tension because it feels like as the day goes on and we get closer to sleep time, there's this huge expectation to want to sleep and to almost have to sleep. Because if anyone does experience sleeplessness and insomnia, it's really common to have lots of thinking around the story of what might happen tomorrow, which creates even more tension and even more stress as we kind of feel the hours counting down in the night and start to worry about not being able to cope well the next day, being too tired to be able to deal with day-to-day tasks or workloads. And really all that's going on here is that there's just a greater degree of story that we're investing in around this just not being acceptable and being a bad thing that we need to somehow get rid of. But there's something more to see here, and that is that every time we create these stories about this not being okay, we're building resistance, and it's how we hold the relationship with these kind of experiences that affects us. And I fall into the trap time and time again because I've been here many times before. And often when it arises, I get stuck in the thinking and just can't see beyond it. But when I'm sort of have a bit more perspective, I can see that it's the thinking that's occluding the clarity, because actually our bodies have an innate capacity to sleep. There is no need to do X, Y, Z in order to sleep, because sleep is something that this body knows what to do. Look at babies, they just sleep when they need to. There's no forcing it. And it's this whole idea of this idea of me that can control things and do things and fix things and force things, that is just creating this huge story that's really unnecessary. Because actually, in reflection, who is it that's like pumping your blood around your body, and breathing you, and, your lungs expanding and your heart pumping and going to sleep? It's not you. It's not this idea of you that's willing all that to happen. There's like a million different processes going on in our bodies every day that we have no idea about. And they're just happening because that's the life force that's living us. In the same way that we are slept, we don't sleep. So it's all that thinking and that tension that creeps in without us realizing that's actually standing in the way. And if we can just see that, it doesn't necessarily change the situation swiftly, but there's just an ease around it. And suddenly it's okay. It's okay if we're feeling tension and sleep seems elusive, because we know that it will restore itself if we can just relax into the knowing and the trusting that this, it's inbuilt. There's nothing we need to do about it. So I hope that helps you in some way, and have a lovely day. Thanks. Bye bye.